Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to start the final and last node here of the city section for Dark Dimension 7. Once again, using my team here: Vulture, Robbie Reyes, Spider-Man Noir, Big Time Spider-Man, and Peter B. Parker. They completely crushed the first city node in just 2 attempts. Let's see now how this last and final node is. Let's get right to it, into the gameplay. Okay, here we go. So I've heard that this node is the harder one out of the 2 city nodes, but still, compared to the first 3 where we could use Skrull and APOC, still not an issue whatsoever. The hardest part is going to be in this initial wave, where you can see we're up against a mixture here of the zombie jugs. We got characters like Void Knight. That hive mind synergy is something to be mindful of with Gwenom, but you can see how squishy Jugs is. So even though he has the taunt, we're almost taking him down at the very beginning. Void Knight is going to get his abilities off, as you can see, but we opt to use Robbie, his ultimate, just inflicting the number of debuffs on there. So right off the bat, Zugs is already taken care of. And now what I would personally recommend is focusing in on these hive mind characters. We're going to be going down the middle there, because characters like the Spider Punks, the Strifes, they're not going to be doing much. The Strifes later on are going to be annoying when they have their taunt up, but you can see how squishy these characters are. Focus Red Goblin first, because he's got that revive that he can grant to Gwenom or Void Knight if they fall. So it makes sense to kind of clean that up first. So we're just doing work here, focusing down the middle. And this is one of the big reasons why I do like bringing in Big Time for this. He's cheap, he's a tech character, which we have lots of resources, but as well, the fact that he can clear barrier as well. So at 32 out of 34 enemies remaining, it does actually spawn a wave here, and there's some more synergies here, as you can see with Hive Mind, but we get the bleed going on, the debuffs. We're absolutely, crushing these enemies right here. And then at this point, there's also going to be a Mr. Sinister that you may need to watch for, but we're going to go down the middle once again with the bleeds, and this just fuels Robbie's speed meter, just able to capitalize on this. And we're just focusing, once again, the damage dealers, because the non-meta characters like Spider-Punk, Strife, they will take care of itself. In the meantime, we're just going to keep on casting debuffs and doing what we're doing here. So looking overall really good, especially when we compare it to the first 3 nodes. These enemies, they just seem to have really, just from Big Time's attack right there, they seem to have really low HP pools, and it was nice that we got that disruption. There's another Zugs that comes, so that's the one thing to be mindful of in this node anyways, is that there's a lot of zombie Jugs. And you'll see here, there's also a Greg that spawns with Hela, so just something to be mindful of later on, because obviously having Hela synergy, the Undying team. But yeah, right off the bat, we're doing really good with the debuffs. Carnage spawns here too, so we're just trying to, once again, take care of the Hive Mind synergy. I would focus on them. I'd recommend taking them down first before you focus on the rest of the Undying, just because these characters are squishy, and you don't want to fuel characters like Carnage where they can thrive off the turn meter. So at this point, yeah, it's completely up to you, but you can choose to clean up. But I'm going to be focusing on more important characters like Hela, just because if you take her down, then Greg won't come back, and then same with that synergy with Zugs. The thing is that at some point, these characters, they're going to get their abilities off, and you won't be able to one-shot this, but they'll have some potential here to get some abilities off. And as soon as 1 or 2 of your allies do fall, I would recommend just holding off and just saving. But you can see we do a lot of work with our basic and using abilities and trying to turn over the abilities in a timely way. At some point, Strife's going to get his abilities off to use the mind control to do the self-inflicted damage against ourselves, and that's okay, because we took down key characters like Hive Mind team. Hela's taken care of now, so now we can actually start just cleaning up here. And I know at this point, with one of my with Robbie falling, he's the core and engine of this city roster that I have. So with him falling, I know that at this point, you're just gonna have to try to do as much damage without him as possible, and maybe that includes actually just saving up some energy in preparation for a stronger second attempt. But overall, I'm really happy that even in this first attack, you can see here we've taken down 10 enemies already. So looking really strong here. So they're going to clean up, obviously, but we only do 1 more attack likely to finish them off. And yeah, looking very strong. And that's what I mean. Zombie Iron Man does spawn now, but he doesn't have the synergy of Hela. So it's good that we took care of that. And then same with the rest of the Hive Mind characters. Even with this new Void Knight coming, we took down the rest of his team. So at this point, we're just waiting for them to finish us off. Let them blow their ultimates if they're able to. I don't think they can repeat and rinse and repeat once again. But yeah, we're just we're just biding our time and doing as much. Oh, okay, never mind. My apologies. Looks like the zombie Iron Man can actually repeat his attack. So something to be mindful of when we do the next attack. And then once again, you'll see that once they get their burst off, they can easily clean up. And at this point, I'm just waiting for my team to fall so I can capture the defeat. But yeah, hopefully this is able to give you guys some insight. Hopefully you can see the attack order, what we want to prioritize, just because of the fact that if these enemies don't have their synergistic teams, it's going to be a lot easier to clean up. And as you can see, at the very end here, when you know your team's falling, just make sure they're using all their abilities off. But thankfully, this Undying team now no longer has Hela, so that's a really important point to illustrate for this classification here when you're going through with the city roster. So there you guys have it. First attempt here in the last and final node here of city. We're looking very, very strong. It's either going to take another attack or two, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.